Look alive, Haunters. You are entering a story about Geist, the Sin Eaters. Welcome to the Chroniclers of Darkness, a narrative horror podcast set in the RPG New World of Darkness. Due to adult language and the violent nature of the stories told, this podcast is rated M for mature, and we strongly encourage listener discretion.
Episode 4, Code Lazarus.
It's early in the morning on Sunday, and I sense my Geist is asleep in the back of my head. Finally. Charlie holds my hand in the bathtub, rinsing my hair and my face. For the first time in a few days, maybe, I am the only one using my mouth. We had to marathon fuck until my teeth hurt, just to appease my Geist. But at least I'm in control. Charlie's already fed me some oxycodone and using their magic to upgrade my remaining aspirin in the cabinet. God, Charlie's useful. We have until sundown. I have to come up with a plan before sundown when the citywide Sin Eater Flesh Fair starts.
Nix, we have to talk about it.
Can't trust Leslie. We all did. Robbie did. I don't know what he wants, but it's not to help me.
I know, and I was stupid to listen to him. But what he's offering you, to separate you from Skeletor, after what he did to you in the underworld, you could be free from him. You could be alive again, on your terms.
It's a trick. It has to be.
Love, I've been with you for the good part of a week, and I don't think you've been you half that time. You have to do something about your Geist. You'll either overload him or blow yourself out.
My heart's given out before. He'll keep bringing me back anytime I try to overdose.
And yet, here you are trying to defend him. What do you like about being attached to that monster? What is it? Is it the power? Or is it having an excuse? I have to stay drunk, it's what my Geist wants. I have to lie, it's what my Geist wants.
I have to survive because it's what I want. We can't trust Leslie, but we can go along with his plan. I have an idea.
This flesh fair is your best idea? Far as you've told me, nobody like you trusts you because of what Leslie did. You're practically on a citywide shit list, and you're gonna walk in, try to honeypot someone, and then feed them to your old boss. Have you never seen a Hellraiser movie? I don't know how to describe it, but they're not exactly fairy tales. There's no happy ending.
That's why I need your help. They let you in if they think you're just a medium. I know I'm asking so much of you, Charlie, but you can't leave just yet.
You know I'm more than just a good long fuck, Nix.
That was a distraction to keep my Geist drowning in endorphins. I had some time to think. Here's what we're gonna do.
When I first died, it was my fault. I was young, I was rich, and I kept drinking one night until the skyline of Manhattan looked like a field of lightning bugs. Until you see the skyline of Manhattan, you'll never know how easy to think the city obeys you, needs you. 2 minutes later, I choked on my own vomit, after gracefully cracking my head against an imported Italian kitchen backsplash. Then the Blackbone Daddy appeared, brought me back. 10 years later, I'm still moonlighting as a dime-bag Lindsay Lohan. Taking whatever he wants me to, sleeping with whomever he throws my way or pulls towards us. It was so little when we began, but now my Geist has started taking control of the wheel. As he grows in age and power, he's moved from a backseat driver into the passenger side, the death seat. So it's either uppers to keep myself awake and arguing, or downers and lose control of my body. And it's my body, and it should be my choice. And what keeps me from dying is that I know what's on the other side. And I don't see how I have a choice.
If you want to party in a coffin in New York City, reserve a space above ground. If you want to party in a cavern in New York City, look beneath the streets. The ghosts of long-dead subway diggers and electrical engineers will gladly guide Sin Eaters toward decommissioned subway stations if you tell them how badly the Mets are losing. My ride takes the Charlie bitch down ladders and long, stinking underground corridors to a place lit with pastel paper lanterns, a pork buffet, and a live DJ. He is using an empty subway car to amplify his bass, and the reverb shakes the warped glass windows. Only those who have died know how to really live. Teams of Sin Eaters come in together, placing colorful Mexican skull masks over their faces, and taking turns speaking. They tell of a 300-year-old spirit finally put to rest. They tell of a wretched and a hollow teaming up to rampage by night through a hospital, converting a city block into a death stain. They tell of a new Sin Eater discovered near Long Beach, and they celebrate a public ritual that forms a new crew, the Taylor Street Terrors. Weaker Geists eye us from behind shoulders and beneath tablecloths. Many of them smell my new strength and are wise to scuttle away. Many of the older ones fear our association with the Pale Angel, and they turn their backs. Let them feel. It is both my fuel and my power. My ride catches the eye of a young buck new to the city, perhaps in his mid-20s. His Geist, a thin creature wrapped in bloody chains. I like his red hair and tan leather coat. We approach, smile nicely, bat the eyes, make introductions. We hold our hand behind our back, and the Charlie bitch uses their magic to turn a sugar pill into a tranquilizer, which rests nicely in a glass of rum. We offer the glass, and he takes it. The Charlie bitch has been so kind to hand out fake business cards and flirt in our favor. We will take this lamb to the Pale Angel, the way Abraham led Isaac to Mount Moriah, and we shall feed upon that sacrifice. And should they resist, we will test our new powers. We are not the wretched. We are the apex of man and Geist. I have already read my ride's mind. We know she intends to help the Pale Angel, and I cannot wait to see how poorly it dissolves in her face when I withhold my powers and show her once and for all that I am in control, that my authority over her body cannot be challenged or questioned. Then I will pounce, and I will feed upon the Pale Angel itself.
For a morose mage like myself, everything matters. Wait, no. Everything's just matter. And when you control matter itself, structures and boundaries don't matter. Once you wake to the tendons and fabrics of reality, usual binaries stop making sense. Day, night, male, female, life, death, all just strings that I can either pull or ignore. The problem is, right now, I have a shit poker face, and I'm already getting stink eye from the Sin Eaters around us. It's overwhelming the amount of death energy. Whenever I use my mage sight to look into Twilight, I start getting a headache. Everyone here is carrying a Geist, or is being carried by a Geist. I had no idea there was a whole population in New York City like this. Assuming I'll live through the night, I'm gonna research them as my new hobby. But just like I discussed with Leslie over the phone days ago, behind Carrie's back, I lead her through the crowd of Sin Eaters, acting as her personal buffer and reassurance that, no, she hasn't been taken over by her Geist, everything is cool. But just like I discussed with Carrie, I'm handing out fake business cards that drop the illusion once I'm 2 feet away. Everybody in the room is being handed a time, an address, and a phrase. It's so much fun learning the code words of the Sin Eaters. Hopefully, enough people get the message and realize the quiet emergency. The Black Bone Daddy knows everything that Nyx is trying to feel or think, but he can't do jack or shit to me, not with my little mind shield spell activated. And if he's suspicious of me, all the better. It just takes the attention away from the other people in the room. Out of the corner of my eye, a crew whispers among themselves, looks back at me, nods, and heads for the exit. They move down the tunnels, further down the subway trolley to other cars. Sin Eaters are scattering one at a time. Soon, Nyx has her arms wrapped around the leather-clad ginger boy's shoulders. I think we can take this one. I can make out the chained figure hovering above him. The black bone daddy thinks I converted that sugar pill into a Mickey because I told Nyx that's what I would do. Now we make our move.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Nirvana's Path, your one-step app for relaxation. How have you been since last week? Is the heat getting to you? Did you know you can wish that tension and stress away by tracing your symbol of relaxation? Nirvana's Path is the #1 recommended free relaxation app for today's busy world changers. Hello? We're recording right now?
Yeah, I know. I'm a big fan of your commercials.
Who are you?
I'm Murray. Hi.
Hi, Murray. Do you use the Nirvana's Path app to achieve a greater sense of awareness?
Oh yeah, just used it to find you as a matter of fact. I could see you there in the darkness. That blinding light right where your soul is. I'd like you to stop these commercials. Honestly, there's lots of folk out there who'd like you to stop these commercials. There's all sorts of people willing to pay out the ass if it keeps people from waking up to the world, you know? And pissing those sorts of people off is like playing with fire. I don't like fire. Fire doesn't relax me. Don't wave your hands at me, it's very impolite. See? You're lucky I got to you first, 'cause I'm gonna make this quick. You should probably cut the feed now so I can start.
So you can start what?
Feeding.
Years ago, I had some contacts to learn exactly where Leslie's house was in Queens. When I learned he lived in the historic landmark brick duplexes, I knew he had money. Serious money. But none of my realtor friends could trace which house was his. Mail went to all corners of the neighborhood, which meant he either subletted or owned an entire block. Leslie's lips were always tight about where his money came from, even with me, and we founded the original Tombstone Kings of Queens. We park, and I stumble, with Charlie's help, through the brick arch, iron gate, and courtyard. It's a lush, green common area between maybe 8 of these classic brick houses. Leslie is sitting in the center of the lawn on a simple stone bench. Charlie alerts me that they can sense iron and silver planted all over the lawn. Leslie is planning something, some ritual. They're right. The moment I enter, I feel the Blackbone Daddy lock up and loosen his control over my body. It's paralyzing him. The ginger in the tan leather is dragging his heels, flopping over Charlie. He puts on a good act. In the death sight, Leslie's eyes are pearly white globes of malice, resisting the dark gravity of his powers. Yet I can't see his Geist anywhere. What has he become?
Hello again, Carrie. Charlie, welcome.
All these years and you still won't tell me which house is yours?
There's a lot we don't know about each other. Do you still have the tape recorder?
The one you bought Robbie? Yeah, it's right here.
Thank you. If you wish, we could use this to talk to him. Would you like that? It's only fair.
You know where he is? Last I heard, his soul is no longer human.
Join the club.
Who are you? Really? Who do you work for? Looking back, I feel like everything you had us do as a crew had some other agenda.
As luck would have it, we're actually recruiting. I'm happy to put in the good word for you. Truth is, Nyx, my goal is immortality. Always has been. but not for my betterment.
Immortality isn't exactly philanthropy.
Maybe I just prefer my style of management. You see, the first time I died from the AIDS virus, I had a fishing net of sorts at the ready, trying to catch a wandering Geist. In a way, I knew the Pale Angel would choose me, granting me access to all kinds of extra knowledge. So many trips to the underworld began, and I started to learn from the long-dead masters. I learned how to cut corners and to gain shortcuts to power. I can't manifest the Pale Angel anymore in this world, for example. It's too massive. Last time I tried, well, you saw what happened on the East River 2 Halloweens ago. I can't leave this area for more than a day, or it might try to manifest again. And yet that kind of power is needed. I walk between the worlds freely now. No ritual required. What you're talking to right now is not even my old body, it's... Have you ever seen an anglerfish, Nyx? The deep sea fish with the light on its head? That's me.
So where's the rest of the fish? Where are the teeth?
Very close. It's been unfortunate but a necessary labor. I work for someone very, very old. Someone who has died and come back countless times.
How old? Like Rome old?
Older.
Ancient Greece?
Older.
Babylon?
Have some imagination, Nyx, come on. The society which founded the cult I work for was a legend when Babylon was being planned. I work for a being whose mortal remains have petrified, but still he may rise, and if I play my cards right, I will be the one to greet him upon his return.
Why did you seek me out?
Because I always respected you, Carrie. I still do. Maybe you'd like to join up? I don't need to be the only immortal. I'd like some company.
That's why you're gonna eat my Geist?
My goal was never the Black-Bone Daddy. It was your freedom. This gentleman you've brought me, I'm going to cut that bond that tethers the young man from his Geist. And just like nuclear fission, I'll absorb that death energy and remain actively tethered to the Pale Angel. And this young man you brought me, he walks away, reborn. And if you wish, Carrie, I will repeat that ritual for you and free you from that clattering bastard. You are too smart to be paired up with that Geist.
One condition. I want to make the bargain with another.
I never would have seen that coming. Of course, I can make that happen. Why don't... Yes. Why don't we ask him personally? Robbie? Robbie, I know you're nearby. Carrie Nicholson is here. Would you like to say anything to her?
Nyx?
Hey, douchebag.
I'm in a body that don't fit me no more. I'm in the dark. I can't move, but I can't even see. It's so crowded.
Do you believe me now, Carrie?
I always believed you, Leslie. Just never trusted you. This Geist-suppressing ritual has something to do with the minerals you planted in the ground, right?
How do you know about that?
What would happen if someone suddenly converted all the iron into something useless, like plastic?
You don't have that kind of power.
No, but Charlie here does.
Indeed I do. So for the... Oh shit, okay. I overreached that time.
I turn to Charlie and they vomit up blood suddenly. Fresh, bloody holes pop across their face like someone going trigger-happy with a nail gun. Still, they push me aside and lunge forward to grab Leslie's pants, and in a moment they've combined the khakis with a cement bench, keeping Leslie in one place. Ginger kid with a leather coat stands up straight and punches Leslie directly in the face. With a gesture, Leslie picks him up and throws him behind like an empty can of La Croix. Leslie was never physically powerful before. I think we've bitten off more than we can chew. Leslie's expression remains thin-lipped and thoughtful, but not concerned. That changes the moment I grab Robbie's tape recorder and bolt for the gate, yelling, "Now!" All at once, the dozen or so sin eaters who have been hiding drop their disguises and start coming out of the woodworks. One guy, literally. Sin eaters vault over the brick wall, levitate with help from their Geists, and charge Leslie and their teams. In each of their pockets is a business card with a time, an address, and the phrase, "Code Lazarus." It's never been this bad before. We've never coordinated something this big before, but we've never had someone this dangerous. Two of our eldest light up their arms with ghostly flames and launch them at Leslie. From across the yard, I sense a heaviness in the air, a dread in my stomach like the bottom of a roller coaster. Leslie throws up his arms and the ground beneath him splits. A tower of bone rises and extends, opening up like a wing. It extends around Leslie, pushing back the Sin Eaters. Twilight becomes cluttered as malformed arms the size of trees bursts from cracks in the ground and toss people aside, pulling their mortal hosts back through the air like invisible nooses. Then I hear the crack of glass, the splintering of wooden doors. Looks like Leslie had a plan B. There are bodies piling up out into the courtyard. Puffy, gray-skinned corpses shambling to tackle Sin Eaters and crowd around Leslie. Jesus almighty, I think I understand. Leslie owned the entire block and filled every house with corpses, just so he could feed their souls to the pale angel. And now with this rift, he's animating an army. It's about 10 seconds when this went from a rescue mission to Dawn of the Dead. And we're crowded, we're being swarmed, and I've already lost sight of Charlie. One of the shambling zombies turns to see me, and even with its slanted frame I recognize the trucker's hat, the wide shoulders, and the army jacket. "Robbie!" Shouldn't have done that. It's not him, just his old body. His eyes are deadpan and black, and he hisses dryly as he moves towards me. I trip over a fallen Sin Eater, and when I look back, Robbie shoves the burnt end of a branch into the side of my leg. Ah! I'm pinned. I'm hurt. And the only hope I have left is the Black Bone Daddy.
Chroniclers of Darkness is written and produced by Uncle Yo, with performances by Monica Blaze Levitt. Original music by Jimmy Lynn. Logo by Jesse Pascal. Special thanks to Onyx Path Publishing for giving us a whole new world of darkness to haunt. Game on. Include everyone, and remember that death is only the beginning.